person that they thinks the snake or is the snake, however you want to put it, is just feeding them both because nothing that comes out of her mouth is true.
So get this. Kristy Blanchard goes live with Natasha Cooper on TikTok, thinking she's about to clear up some rumors, but instead it turns into a total hot mess. It's like watching someone scramble to regain control, but the harder she tried, the more confusing it all got. Desperation? Check. Contradictions? Oh, definitely. And instead of giving answers, she just raised more questions. So what's really going on with Kristy and Gypsy Rose? Let's break it down. So here's the tea. Kristy Blanchard, Gypsy Rose's stepmom, hopped onto a TikTok live with Natasha Cooper thinking she was going to shut down some major rumors about Gypsy and Ken's relationship. She wanted to clear the air and take back control of a story that was getting way out of hand. But instead of a solid explanation, she served up contradictions, awkward slip-ups, and left everyone wondering what's really going on here. The headline Kristy wanted everyone to believe: Gypsy and Ken are still together. Not only did she state it plainly, she hammered it home, almost as if sheer repetition could cement it as fact. In her own words, she declared, they did not break up. Somebody put it on a banner, put it on their foreheads. They did not break up.
She's telling everybody what gypsies do this month. Gypsy and Ken broke up. They got in a fight or whatever the stuff she decides to pull out her ass.
Now, let's take a moment to digest that. Who goes to such lengths to deny a breakup if there's no truth to the rumors? A simple statement would have sufficed, but Kristy took it further, repeating herself with such intensity that it felt like she was trying to convince herself as much as she was trying to persuade the audience. Here's the thing: happy, stable couples don't need this kind of public defense. Their lives and contentment speak for themselves. The need to declare it loudly, especially in a live stream, raises eyebrows. Why was Kristy so desperate to stay ahead of these rumors? And let's talk timing. Her live session wasn't random. It came right after speculation about the couple started gaining traction. This made her urgency to address the issue seem less like reassurance and more like damage control. If Gypsy and Ken's relationship is as solid as Kristy claims, why does public perception matter so much? Why the need for such dramatic insistence? When someone keeps repeating a point over and over, it often has the opposite effect. Instead of feeling reassured, we start to question what's really going on. Kristy's attempt to put rumors to rest only opened up more speculation, leaving us wondering what's truly happening behind the scenes. It feels like there's more beneath the surface, and Kristy's intensity only fans the flames of speculation. This isn't just about denying a rumor, it's about controlling the narrative. The harder Kristy pushes to paint a picture-perfect story, the more cracks appear. So the real question isn't whether Gypsy and Ken are still together, it's why Kristy is so desperate to make us believe they are.
Never broken up, they are still together. And I wouldn't lie about it. If they would have broken up, I would say they broken up, but they haven't.
Nina is saying the breakup was filmed.
Film? What the hell?
One of the most striking moments of Kristy's TikTok live was when she admitted there was a snake in the camp. Yes, you heard that right. Kristy claimed someone close to them had been leaking information. Her exact words were, "We are very aware. I think I know who it is, but I need to do a little more digging." Let's break that down. If the rumors about Gypsy and Ken breaking up are baseless, why would a leak matter? Think about it. If there's no truth to the speculation, there's nothing real to leak. By acknowledging a leak, Kristy inadvertently undercuts her own narrative. It's like saying, these rumors aren't true, but someone close to us is sharing real information. The contradiction here is glaring, and it makes her defense look shaky at best. And then there's the way she delivered this snake in the camp revelation. Kristy didn't come across as confident or composed. She fumbled over her words, hesitated, and even tried to pivot the conversation. That's not the behavior of someone who feels secure in their story. It's the reaction of someone who might have said more than they intended. Here's another question. Why is Kristy so focused on this supposed snake instead of directly addressing the rumors? If she truly believed the breakup claims were baseless, her energy would be on clearing the air, not hunting down an insider. Her fixation on this leak suggests she knows there's some truth to the whispers, whether she admits it or not.
No, they did not break up. Somebody put it on a banner, on a forehead, something. They did not break up.
I wish I could run a banner across this like you can on StreamYard that says they did not break up. This has been the craziest mess. I mean, and this is what I'm saying. I mean, when people make up these rumors and these lies just for clicks and views.
Right.
And let's not overlook how vague her statements were. Kristy didn't name names or offer specifics about this so-called snake, leaving the door wide open for speculation. If her goal was to shut down rumors, she's done the opposite. This ambiguity only adds more fuel to the fire. Ultimately, this snake in the camp narrative raises more questions than it answers. It makes Kristy's defense feel less like a confident denial and more like a frantic attempt to deflect attention. If there's truly nothing to hide, why the panic? Why the obsession with a leak? And most importantly, why does Kristy seem so shaken by her own admission? Now, let's shift to the idea Kristy keeps promoting, that Gypsy is fully independent, making her own decisions and standing on her own 2 feet. On the surface, this is a great story. Who wouldn't want to see someone turning their life around after years of hardship? But here's the issue. This narrative falls apart under closer scrutiny. In Kristy's own words, Gypsy is her own person. Nobody tells her what to do. Yet Kristy's actions contradict this claim. She consistently steps in to explain Gypsy's behavior, defend her choices, and shape how others perceive her. Instead of letting Gypsy's independence speak for itself, Kristy's involvement feels like a constant attempt to steer the narrative. The more you look at it, the clearer it becomes. This isn't just about protecting Gypsy or denying rumors. It's about Kristy's need to maintain control. And that need raises serious questions about what's really going on behind the scenes.
How do we know they didn't break up? Listen, if you don't believe what Kristy's saying, then don't believe it. Does Kristy have a thing for Kent? Lord, have
God, y'all.
crazy.
I mean, come on, people. Like as if. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's about as bad as when they said that you was kissing him in the... I'm telling...
Kristy made an interesting comment during her live stream, brushing off Gypsy's habit of taking down and re-uploading her videos as just her being in the mood to do so. But let's be real. Is that independence, or is it more about damage control, covering up missteps before they gain traction online? It's hard to ignore Gypsy's track record, which speaks volumes about her history of impulsive, emotionally charged decisions. These aren't just mistakes. They've had significant consequences for those around her. From manipulating someone into committing murder to jumping into personal relationships without fully considering the fallout, Gypsy's actions have consistently prioritized immediate desires over logic or morality. And here's the thing about Kristy's narrative. It assumes we've forgotten all of this. It asks us to buy into the idea that Gypsy is now a completely different person, independent, thoughtful, and capable of making sound decisions. But where's the proof? What we continue to see is a pattern of impulsiveness, a lack of accountability, and an ongoing need for validation. Independence? That's a generous stretch. Take Gypsy's recent choices, for example. Her whirlwind relationships and the decision to have a child while still under parole restrictions. These aren't the actions of someone showcasing stability. They're reckless, plain and simple. Yet Kristy defends them as part of some grand narrative of growth and transformation. But is it transformation, or is it just the same patterns playing out again, this time with Kristy stepping in to clean up the mess?
telling y'all, when that rumor started a few months ago, when somebody said that Kristy was kissing Ken outside of his apartment, I literally almost peed in my pants.
Girl, when you told me you almost peed in your pants, I almost peed in my pants because we laughed, you and I, so much about it.
Here's the truth. If Gypsy were truly independent, there wouldn't be a need for Kristy to constantly explain, defend, and manage her actions. Independence means standing on your own 2 feet, not relying on someone to run interference at every turn. Kristy, with all due respect, let's call it what it is. Gypsy isn't independent. She's being propped up, and the cracks in that illusion are becoming harder to ignore. Now, let's shift to what might be the most emotionally charged topic of Kristy's live stream: the baby. Kristy said, "Say what you want about me, but the baby is innocent." And she's absolutely right. No one is questioning the innocence of the baby. But let's be honest, that's not the issue here. The real question isn't about the baby's innocence. It's about whether Gypsy and Ken are ready to be parents. And instead of addressing these valid concerns, questions about their emotional maturity, questions about their ability to provide a nurturing environment, Kristy uses the baby as a deflection. Every time the conversation veers too close to the truth, whether it's about Gypsy's decision-making, Ken's involvement, or the family's dynamics, Kristy pivots to an emotional appeal: the baby's innocence.
Creator said, I swear, people are so full of shit that their asses must get jealous of the shit that comes out of their mouth.
It's a classic deflection tactic, shifting focus to something everyone can agree on to avoid confronting the harder questions. But here's the thing: the hard questions aren't going anywhere. This isn't about whether the baby is innocent, it's about the environment the child is being brought into. Can Gypsy and Ken provide the emotional stability, financial resources, and healthy family dynamics necessary for raising a child? Kristy's defensive and combative approach does little to reassure us. In fact, it does the opposite. It highlights how unprepared they might be for this responsibility. Let's not lose sight of the bigger picture. This isn't just about one child. It's about a pattern, a history of poor choices, avoidance of accountability, and a lack of stability. Bringing a baby into that environment raises serious concerns, and no amount of emotional appeals will make those concerns disappear. It's time to stop deflecting and start addressing the real issues. Impulsive decisions, Ken's questionable role in Gypsy's life, and Kristy's constant deflections all point to a chaotic dynamic. And chaos isn't exactly the ideal foundation for raising a child. So when Kristy reassures us that the baby will be well taken care of, it begs the question: by whom?
Right.
That they are very well aware that they have a snake in their midst.
Yes, we very aware, and like I said, I think I know who
Somebody
it
telling
is,
secrets.
and I gotta do a little more.
A family scrambling to manage public perception? A couple caught in a whirlwind of rumors and instability? The reassurance just isn't there. Adding to this doubt is Kristy's own acknowledgement of the instability. Why else would she mention the baby living in her home? It's almost as if Kristy knows Gypsy and Ken aren't fully equipped to handle the responsibility of parenthood on their own. But instead of confronting this head-on, she doubles down on insisting that everything is perfectly fine. At the end of the day, this isn't about criticizing Gypsy for the sake of it. It's about holding her and those defending her accountable for the decisions they're making. A child's innocence shouldn't be a free pass to ignore the reality of the situation. And the reality is that Gypsy's track record doesn't inspire confidence in her ability to take on the demands of motherhood. That's a fact Kristy seems determined to sweep under the rug. So here's the real question. Is this about protecting the baby? Or is it about protecting the narrative? From where we're standing, it seems like the baby's innocence is being used as a convenient shield to dodge the hard questions. And until those questions are answered, the doubts aren't going anywhere. Then there's the puzzling moment when Kristy said Natasha Cooper would blow this out of the water and expose the so-called snake. But why Natasha? Why does Kristy need someone else to handle this if she's so confident in her truth? Relying on someone like Natasha, whose own reputation is, let's say, complicated, relying on that actually makes Kristy look less like a strong, confident figure and more like someone grasping at straws. If the truth is on your side, why not handle it yourself? Why the need to bring in someone else to fight your battles?
Or digging. But like I said, Natasha will be the first to know.
Yeah.
Because I'll let Natasha blow this shit all out the water. How do you have a snake if it's not true?
So, after all the denials, the accusations, and the emotional appeals, what are we left with? When you step back and connect the dots, a clearer picture emerges, and it's not the one Kristy wants us to see. Here's what we know. Kristy spent the entire leak insisting that Gypsy and Ken are still together, doubling down on this narrative as if trying to convince herself as much as the audience. But in the same breath, she admitted there's a snake in their camp, someone close to them leaking information. That alone undermines her entire argument. If everything is fine, why the panic? Why the need to hunt down a leak?
StreamYard that says they did not break up. This has been the craziest mess. I mean, and this is what I'm saying. I mean, when people make up these rumors and these lies just for clicks and views.
Right.
But they are very well aware that they have a snake in their midst.
Yes, we very well. And like I said, I think I know who it is. And I got to do a little more.
These contradictions expose the fragility of the narrative Kristy is trying so hard to maintain. The harder she works to control the story, the more it unravels, leaving us with more questions than answers. The pieces just don't fit together, and that disconnect speaks louder than any denial. What does this tell us? It's not just about clearing up a misunderstanding. It's about a family frantically trying to hold on to a narrative that's unraveling before our eyes. The constant denials, emotional pleas, and reliance on outside help paint a picture of instability rather than reassurance. And the more Kristy pushes, the more cracks begin to show. This isn't about whether Gypsy and Ken are still a couple. The real question is, why does Kristy feel the need to work so hard to convince everyone?
Digging. But like I said, Natasha will be the first to know.
Yeah.
Because I'll let Natasha blow this shit all out the water. How do you have a snake if it's not true?
Do you hear how quiet she got? Because she realized she slipped up. I thought I would be able to prove to you guys that I was telling the truth.
Truth is effortless. It doesn't need a campaign, distractions, or reinforcement from allies. Yet, here we are, watching Kristy spin, deflect, and fight to control a story that feels like it's slipping out of her hands. So, what's really going on here? What's behind this desperation? When you start connecting the dots, a troubling image emerges, one of contradictions, unanswered questions, and a refusal to address the deeper issues. Are Kristy's actions grounded in truth, or are they just an elaborate smokescreen? Share your thoughts, because this conversation is far from over, and the more we dig, the more there is to uncover. Stay tuned. There's a lot more to this story than meets the eye. So, what do you think?
But I didn't expect it this fast. Tell me you don't have critical thinking skills without telling me you don't have critical thinking skills.
Are Kristy's efforts to control the narrative a sign of desperation? Or is there more to the story than meets the eye? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. This conversation is just getting started, and we'll be keeping a close eye on how this unfolds. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any updates. Trust me, there's a lot more coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.